So guys, normally when we do this, it is normally just me sitting here spewing some manifesto type shit where I'm trying to motivate men to do stuff. Today, Peaches is sitting with me because I feel like I might need a soundboard for some of the things that I've been thinking about. This is not an episode. This is not an R&R. This is going to be a quick, hopefully under 15-minute video to take place of my vlog to help me process some thoughts. And I'm going to post this live for everyone else. This is very much a me working through a mental load. And I want you guys to see how this kind of plays out, because normally this is you and I having a conversation, and this is going to get recorded. So since the beginning of this entire process, I have not at any time tried to say that I am the perfect man. I have been very transparent about the fact that I have been a piece of shit for most of my life. It is what it is. And though I am much better now than I was 3 years ago or 10 years ago, I am still a work in progress. I have a whole lot of fucking demons that I have to fight on a daily basis to try to be the best version of me that I can be. I don't deny that. I'm not ashamed of it. I've done a lot of foul shit in my past. God agrees, as it's thundering and pouring down rain here. But I want it to be clear that at no time have I tried to portray myself as the perfect person. I'm giving you guys my expectations of who I should be. All the books that I've read, the self-help books, all the things that I've ingested to try to make myself a better person. And if you've watched the manifestos, you'll understand why I use the term ingested. I am trying to build the future me into the man that I want to be, the man that I believe I'm capable of being. So this applies to everyone, not just men, not just women. This applies to literally everyone in life. This entire thing is directed to you. So if you're listening to this, I wrote this for you, so pay attention. So my first question is, what motivates you, right? Because everybody's motivated by something. Is it money? Is it faith? Is it kids? Is it your partner? Or is it something else? What is it that makes you want to be the best version of you? And if you can't answer that question, it's because you have not found something that makes you want to be selfless enough to improve your life for the benefit of others, or even for the benefit of yourself, because you're happy just existing. This could be, I make enough money to exist, right? I have enough money to feed myself and my kids and barely scrape by every month. I'm fucking eating paycheck to paycheck. I have nothing in savings. I have no retirement fund. My relationship is on the rocks. I'm fucking miserable most of the time. I know that they are too. I would rather use escapism, drinking, video games, whatever, than to actually face the demons, because it's easier than having another fucking fight with my person, right? So what motivates you to change that, to be more than what you currently are? Because if you're not actively changing who you are as a person, you lack that motivation and you are not inspired by whatever it is that needs to inspire you to grow. Right? We agree on that? Any thoughts there before I move on? Okay. So the next question is do you fear failure? Do you actually fear not being enough, not being smart enough, capable enough, or strong enough? Does your fear of being less than or failing cripple you? This is where muscle memory comes in. When you have these fear moments and you lock up, your muscle memory and your training is going to kick in to pull you through those situations. In those situations, do you make excuses for your lack of training, your lack of ability, your lack of understanding, your lack of empathy, your lack of communication? And do you put the blame in everyone else's lap instead of actually taking accountability for what's happening in your life? I started this thing by telling you guys that I've been a piece of shit most of my entire life. I am taking accountability for that. I am atoning for my karma. I have been doing it for more than a decade now. I am working on being the future version of me that past version of me can be proud of. And it's fucking work. And I make a shit ton of mistakes, and I've done a lot of shit that looking back on, I look back on teenage me and I'm disgusted by my behavior, right? My 55, 60-year-old version of me is going to look back on me at my 30s and 40s and be disgusted by my behavior. This is natural evolution and growth. But you know what my 40, 50, or my 50 and 60-year-old version of me is not going to do? It's not going to look back and go, well, that was their fault. That was their fault. The government didn't do enough. Nobody gave me a handout. Nobody helped me. It was just me. I'm going to look back at my life and be like, yeah, I fucking did this. I did that. I did this. I did that. You cannot take accountability and own your victories if you can't own your failures. That is double-minded thinking, and you can't do that. So if you can't accept your losses the same way that you accept your wins, you're failing. People account that to luck. Oh, he's unlucky. She's unlucky. I'm not lucky enough. If only you had done the work. If only you had realized what I'm currently doing in life is not sustainable and it does not fucking work. I have to change me to get to where I want to be, or I'm not going to get there. Trying the same thing over and over again without avail is insanity. That also speaks to our disposable culture and how cheaply things are made now, that it's cheaper to just replace than it is to fix. And that says a lot about our character, because that translates into who we are as a person. It's easier to replace people in our lives than it is to try to mend relationships. Sometimes mending the relationship is the best option. Sometimes it's not. I understand that. But our default is delete. Unfriend. If you don't like my opinion, unfollow me, unfriend me. Let's talk about our differences and try to work through shit. And if you can't talk and work through shit, dope. You guys just aren't meant to be around each other. But that's not how life is supposed to be lived. There's no real connection when you can't have a disagreement and come back tomorrow and act like everything was perfectly fine because you didn't agree on a topic. Next thing I wrote is, what is it going to take? What is going to be the catalyst? Something has to be the reason for you to improve, to push your comfort zone, to make you want to level up. Is it selfishness or selflessness that you need in order to evolve? Because one of those two things have to happen. You are either too selfish as a person, and it's me, and that's why you're stagnant, or you're too selfless as a person and you give, and takers take, and you have not done enough for you to reach that next level. Something has to shift. There needs to be some sort of a balance there where there's enough ebb and flow that you can continue to be selfish enough to want to grow and level, and selfless enough to learn from others, because you realize that it's not just about you. This comes down to being a good parent. It comes down to being a good partner. It comes down to being a good business person, a boss, a leader. I asked that question, what is going to be the catalyst to make you change? Because if you're in a position where you are not financially stable, if your marriage is failing, if your friend circle is diminishing, if you're at an age where you look in the next 10 years, you're not going to be where you want to be, something has to be the catalyst to make you change. Whether there needs to be a confidence in your life or a new person that comes into your life that makes you be the best version of yourself. We talk about all the time on the podcast how I'm trying to be the best version of me for you, and you're trying to be the best version of you for me, because we hold each other to a standard. There are times if something happens, we're like, oh, that's not it. This comes down to the conversation that we had in the, was it Ruminations, where we talked about the Spartans, or was it the episode 40? Okay, so it was either episode 40 or Ruminations 15, where we talked about 300, and that scene where King Leonidas looks to his woman and she gives him the nod and he kicks that dude down the well. He's not looking for her to tell him what to do. He's looking to his person for moral approval. Right. Like, am I going to be less than to you if I do this? And that's how we both view that scene. Like, and she gives them, this is the right thing to do. And he's like, fuck it, I'm all in now, because the one person that fucking matters the most to me is like, let's ride. That accountability and having that person in your corner that makes you want to do more, makes you want to delete your social medias. Not because they asked, but because you no longer use it, because you're too busy living life with the person that matters with you. It does make me uncomfortable now. I don't post pictures of myself. I don't social media at all the way that I used to. I use our accounts for this. This is more important than the world seeing what's going on in my life. People don't need to know what I'm eating. They don't need to know about my new shoes. They don't know about what car I'm driving. Like, none of that shit it's all superficial. People don't give a fuck about your level ups. People that are, they're monitoring. That's it. They want to know what's going on in your life, but they don't fucking care about your successes. They want to see your downfall, because when other people are suffering more than you are, you feel a little bit better about it. Well, at least I'm not them. So what's the catalyst? What's going to be that thing that changes your life and makes you go, oh, fuck. I am now going to be held to a standard that I have not been held to, that no one else has held me to, that I'm going to now have to reach and obtain? Is it your kids? Is it your person? Is it your team? Somebody has to hold you to that standard, and you have to hold yourself to that standard. You can't just accept, well, this is just what my life is going to be. It doesn't work that way. That acceptance of just accepting that this is the way my life is stagnant. You're not going to ever grow. Why would you ever want to be where you are right now? Unless you're like Elon Musk, rich and have everything in the world you want, a dope relationship, dope family, dope job, dope businesses, everything is fucking phenomenal in your life. Even then, this motherfucker bought Twitter last year. Like, he's still striving to do more. He's wanting to put people on Mars. Like, you still have goals and aspirations. Nobody ever kicks back and goes, okay, I'm done now. Like, I got it all. I'm fucking good. Every successful person in every facet's like, what's next? We have a relationship podcast, personal growth, personal development. That's what we talk about all the time. Those three things are the premises of our podcast. We read self-help books. We read communication books. I watch sales videos. We do everything that we can do to level up who we are as a person for each other to benefit everyone else, because I know that if I ever stop doing what I'm doing and you stop doing what you're doing, all of this falls apart. And that makes you a better mom. Yeah. And it makes you a better wife. And it makes you a better crutch on my bad days, because you understand all of that on a deeper level instead of just going, well, he's fucked up. He has borderline. He's going through an episode. Or she's a narcissist. She's controlling. She's just nagging. Like, that level of want to understand more and grow more is the reason that we have continued to evolve through all of this. The last thing that I wanted to touch on, and I said I was going to be brief. So I believe that everyone is capable of change, but the circumstances of your situation has to change. Tony Robbins said, change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. So as long as you are okay and you have people that are catering to your shortcomings and are there to enable your fuck ups and catch you when you fall all the fucking time and never make you grow, you will always do the things that you're doing. When that safety net is removed and you are forced to thrive or survive in some cases on your own, it is no one else's fault other than yours when you fall. When you fall, that shit fucking hurts. And you realize that change at that point is not that hard compared to the falling that's going to happen and then having to dig yourself back out of that hole. For some, that means losing their kids. I'm going to pause for a minute. For some of you, you are on the brink of losing your fucking children, and you are too blind to see it because you are too comfortable in the moment and everything is just enough, right? For some of you, it means losing your business or home. For others, it could be losing your partner. That fear of loss should be the catalyst to make you change. We get emails all the time where people are like, I'm thinking about taking a break. How do you guys feel about breaks? I personally think they're bullshit. I think you should work through your shit before you get to taking a break. But I also understand how effective walking away from a situation and letting people see that you're willing to leave the situation is, as a last-ditch effort, as the ultimatum of like, look, you have to change or you're not going to have me in your life anymore because this is not acceptable of what I want in my life. This is so prevalent in all of the emails that we get because everybody is dealing with their own demons, and the person that's living with them that's not willing to change while one person is trying to evolve or save things. What is going to be the catalyst? Is it going to be you actually losing your kids? Do you need to find a new partner that meshes on a new level with you that makes you want to delete your social media and makes you want to stop talking to people on your phone all the time, makes you want to delete your Snapchat? And not because they ask you to, but because it no longer feels good having other people send you messages in the morning. We are evolving as a couple. We are evolving as a podcast. Our past is behind us. Your past is behind you, and your evolution should be starting. If you are in the middle of your evolution, you should be looking for ways to evolve into that final form. And when that final form happens and you think you made it, you need to start setting new goals and start trying to evolve further, because you're not going to ever master anything. You're going to get good enough. Art is subjective, but art is never finished. As Jeff Graham says, art is done when you abandon the project. When you get to the point where you're like, I think I'm happy with it now. There's still so much more that can be done to it. It's never done. Your life is a sculpture. You are the artist of your life. When you get to the point and you go, yeah, I'm cool. You're done. You're stagnant. You're abandoning all hope. It makes no fucking sense to me. Think big, guys. Look for ways to improve. Find the person in your life that is going to make you want to evolve simply to see them smile. And if you can't find somebody, look in the fucking mirror. I don't regret my past. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't care what people have to say. I know what I've come from, and I know where I am now, and I know where I'm fucking going. And I'm taking steps currently, and I have been for the last 3 years of my life, to get so much further than I have been. And because you have been doing the same thing, our life is rapid firing. It's moving so fucking quick that we have to stop and go, okay, wait a minute. What do we have to do right now? Right? Because there's so much shit going on that, and by shit, I don't mean negative things. We have so much wrapped up that, like, at times we have to go, okay, stop the world. I want to get off. This bitch is spinning too fast. Like, but that reset is necessary. And then you can prioritize things and execute and move forward and course correct if you need to. If you cannot find the catalyst to start making the change that you need to make in your life to be where you need to be, the future you needs to be the catalyst. If you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always got. Nobody's going to give it to you. No one's coming to save you. Your life is your own to fucking live. Period.